Okay, so I want you to think about, have you ever heard the phrase, you are your own worst enemy? So think about that. So think about that phrase for a minute. You are your own worst enemy. What does that mean? What does it mean to say that you are your own worst enemy? I think it can mean a lot of things. I think that it can mean that you limit yourself, meaning that maybe you don't achieve your goals because you're scared of failing. Maybe you're your own worst enemy because you are not trying as hard as you could. And then that can also be because of this fear of failing, but it can also lead to you being stuck where you are, not achieving new things. It can also mean that you are responsible for the outcome of situations. And if we're talking about enemy, the outcome would be bad. So when you're thinking about Arachne, the story we just read, if you're thinking about Arachne, what about her? How is she her own worst enemy? Do you think this phrase applies to her? Why or why not? If you think it does, that she is her own worst enemy, what kind of things cause her to be her own worst enemy? I think one thing is she becomes overconfident. And what does that lead to? So sometimes your worst enemy can lead to bad things, like it did for Arachne. I'm not going to give you the answer because you read the story, but that's what I want you to think about. As you do the next chart, think about these things. If you want to stop and copy these things down, if you want to watch this video again, go for it. But before you move on to the chart, I want to make sure you understand this idea of being your own worst enemy. If you still don't, send me a message on Canvas and we can talk about it. Thanks, guys.